Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program, episode number 17 in this series, and I think we might be getting towards the end of it. I don't actually have a fixed endpoint. I didn't come into the series with one at least. But I've had a lot of fun doing this. I actually don't even need to necessarily end it, but I kind of get a sense for the momentum of a series, you know, how popular it is, how invested I am in it. A lot of variables. I can't even describe the full equation, but I obviously, part of my channel is built on the fact that I don't mind taking a series a little bit longer than most people care to watch it. But at some point, yeah, that's my way of saying I don't care too much if there's low views on a series. But that's true to a point. At some point, that there is also a truth that I do care about it. I mean, if there's nobody watching it, then, you know, it just shows that. Well, I mean, for those people who are interested in knowing about YouTube channel stuff, it's actually bad for your channel to have a underperforming series for the algorithm. But I try to fight against any impulses to, you know, please the algorithm. I'd rather just run the channel the way I like to run it. Okay. Anyway, we have so off camera, I did what I said I was going to do, which is I put two Odysseus 2s in orbit of the Mun. One of them has, I think we had already seen, this is the Odysseus 2 which we put together. And the other one, well, I guess the one highlighted yellow here is the one I put up afterwards. I kind of mucked up, I went a little bit too shallow on my trajectory, exit trajectory from Kerbin. I just couldn't remember if it was Kerbin or Kerbal, but yeah, from Kerbin, yes, I was a little too shallow and I burned up a little too much. And anyways, we're about at the same, we're actually almost at exactly the same delta V for both these guys. At least that was before I got to the Mun. From there, there's two other, so the one in yellow now is the one we did together. And I plotted this maneuver to be about, it was less than half, it was, I guess, about 1/3 of the maximum apoapsis before you actually leave the influence of the Mun. And you can see that this one is actually not even, it's not even completely, oh, it's almost out there. I think around 1.9 or so is the maximum apoapsis. It's a little bit beyond where this guy is, because I actually burned retrograde a little bit after I had set something even beyond this. So this is actually inside of what it was. Anyway, so first of all, I got the yellow one in. That one's fine. And when this guy came in, he's the one who fired the. They were off. Like, this guy was probably tilted up about 15 degrees. I think it was a pretty significant distance. So part of the reason why he burned his apoapsis is so high, yeah, large, is because part of the upward or downward, I think it was downward. So part of the downward burn, if you're only going perfectly downward, you're still adding to the total orbital velocity, which means your apoapsis will start increasing if you're over here by the periapsis. So what I could have done differently is probably just gone, instead of like at this point of the connection, I could have gone over to this side, which would have been less of an impact, but I think it also would have required more delta V. I didn't check, actually. It would have been fun to check. But let's go over to, well, who do I want? I want to get their periapsises just pretty much right on. So I think that your periapsis is inside a little too much. 17,000. That's a little bit too low, actually. So let me probably go to this guy. We're not going to be able to do anything with the inside guy until the outside guy comes back around, and we can start doing course corrections. So yeah, we have 1,300 only in this one, and that's because of the like 200 or so meters per second burn that I needed to do to match, to get the angle correct. So you can see that I mean, it's not in a great situation here. We don't have a lot of delta V to do correction stuff. The good news is the other one has a lot of delta V, and also the great news is they both have a lot of monopropellant. We don't have to worry about electric charge going out. We have solar panels. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. But let's first go over here, add a maneuver to slightly increase, I think. Slightly increase that. Oh, it's a little bit, maybe a little bit, just a smidge more. Okay, that looks good. That looks really good. So the periapsis for both of these guys is going to be about the same. 27, and the other one's 26. Perfect. In fact, if I slide this a little bit, we get their periapses to align a little bit better. True or not true? Let me untarget this guy. Let's set target. Yeah, it doesn't really affect it too much. I was expecting it to move a little bit more. Well, this is only 1.6. What am I expecting? It can't move that much. So we'll do a little bit late because it looks like the periapsis comes out in the way that I want. That way. Okay, good enough. 1.6 gets us to what we want. So we'll go all the way over to this maneuver. And we're basically just going to burn. So this is going to be prograde to push it out. And this is the one with or without Jebediah. So Jebediah is on this one. Yeah, we'll just do the... And the good news about that means that I actually have the ability to do something like this. Okay. I'm going to burn a little bit early. Just doesn't matter much. Good. That should be what I want. Periapsis of... Mine is 27.5 and theirs is 26.9. Okay, well that's good. So they're busy circulating on the inner loop, faster inner loop. If I want to make any other corrections, I'm gonna have to go back all the way on this side. Right now it's looking like, so we do have a negative 0.1 downward descending node. I could fix that. I'm gonna want to get all these things correct. Is this the right way? Too far. Too far again. Okay. Oh, we're looking at a 0.4 correction. Well, you know, we might as well do it. So I guess I can just really tiny, make really tiny fixes. Okay, that's a 0.00. That's perfect. So let's try to do this. The SAS doesn't matter without the RCS on because we do have our solar panels. Okay. Let's go over this way. It's burning, but then immediately it's charged. There's charge. Oh man, I feel like a new man. Actually getting all this stuff correct now. Looks pretty good. So we have to probably... I mean, this is 0.1 seconds. I don't have that kind of reaction time, or at least I can't guarantee a good result here. So we'll turn down the thrust limiter. This is still 0.11 seconds. Okay, 0.3 seconds. So basically still do this minimally. Good enough. Okay, let's set this thrust limiter back to full just so I don't forget about anything. Turn off SAS for the moment. And now we can look at our... Yeah, we're very well aligned. I think we're going to want to bring this one in a fair amount. So when we get to the periapsis, let's add a backwards maneuver. Won't need too much to do well. I would just rather have a very, very low delta V for them merging. It's such a pain in the bum. I really hate merging. I mean, well, who can blame me after the torturous event I've been through? Yeah, so I don't want to do it too much then, because I want to make sure that we're still different enough that actually I'd like to look ahead. Okay, where's intersection 1? And okay, so we are, I don't know where, is that the orange right there? It is. Okay, so they'll be here when we are there. So we'll be here, sorry, they'll be there when we are here, and then they'll be there at the pink when we're here. I think this is still okay. What I need to see actually is down here when we pass the first orange. So we might... okay, well let me go over to this a little bit closer. I want to cut it down, but I'm not sure if I want to cut it down by this much. Like a 2-to-1 ratio would... well, we don't want exactly a 2-to-1 ratio, but... actually, it's more about... that's not quite true. That wouldn't be exactly double the period. There's a formula for double the period, and I mean for the time of period, and it's related to the area. So you know, the area is related to the periapsis and the apoapsis. So even though the periapsis is the same, doubling the apoapsis won't make it so that it's exactly the same period. I'm pretty sure. My brain is telling me some stuff that I can't support with math. Like, I couldn't write out the proof right now, but I'm pretty sure what I'm saying is correct. Because I think it basically, since the periapsis contributes, if the periapsis isn't double, then you know you have an offset to the double on the other side. It means that doubling on one side and being equal on the other side does not mean total area is doubled. Right. Alright, here we go. This is 22 seconds. I mean, how much delta V do we have? Yeah, only 1300, but you know, it's not too bad. I missed it a little bit. Went a little too much, but let's see, where does that put us now? Okay. So, as soon as we cross this point, we're going to get an evaluation of how we're doing. Let's wait for it. But we're in control right now. I mean, obviously, the difference between us, we're at 694 here. I don't know what their speed is going to be, velocity is going to be over here, but probably something like 650, maybe? So at most, I think we're 50 meters per second off, and probably less than that. So that's good. And obviously, we have a lot of delta V. Either of these people have a lot of delta V, which we can manage that with. I might as well do the burns from, who is on this one? Is it Bob Kerman? I forget. But we don't need any of the prograde, retrograde stuff for doing the target stuff. We don't have the stuff that would help us with that. Oh, okay. So they'll be there, and they don't give us the next one. Wait, they do. Okay, cool. So what this means is, after here, when we get to all the way back around to here, they will be here, which means that it's taken us a little bit too long to get all the way around. But if we decide to extend our apoapsis, our delta V is it's going to go up. I mean, when I say delta V in this case, I mean between us and the other Odysseus. So it looks like excuse me. Oh, sorry. I have like throat issues. Looks like we're gonna have to wait for at least one more revolution. Now, another thing we could do is actually we could increase with this guy. That might be another thing. We might want to switch over to the other one now Apoapsis of 1,000,000 does give us a pretty good range to be wrong about. I guess I would rather bring the periapsis in more, but our periapsis is so good. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. Well, let me just go ahead and warp a little bit forward and see what we're going to look like. Okay. I mean, we can just go around the MUN a couple of times. I don't think there's any fear, let me quickly turn off SAS, of us losing battery charge or anything like that. Let's switch this guy just to see that I don't have SAS on. In fact, we might as well just switch this one and set that as a target. And now it's the same as what we saw before. But yeah, we might want to increase, well, let's just see what happens. In fact, we can just plot out a maneuver. So our periapsis is here. If we burned forward right now, we could do that. Burn prograde a little bit. The reason I'm going to do this is because I think it'll help us our periapses align. But I don't want this to be a very big burn. So let's set the thrust limiter down some. Alright. Might even want to wait a little bit longer before we do this, because the periapsis change has got to be so minor. I mean, it's only 600 meters. It's not a lot. Okay, this one feels a little bit better. Let's also get ourselves back on target. Looks good. Let's try this. $27.2 versus $27.3. Yeah, okay. Looks good. We'll wait a little bit longer before I do another burn. Because it wasn't moving the periapsis very much. Probably something way over here will have a better impact. Although we're really splitting hairs. We're at 27.230 and they're at 27.480. It's pretty tiny. Let's do it anyway. Thing I can do to help this along. Oops. Got no SAS on this guy. Alright, let's do a small burn. Let me just use this over here. We know we're looking at 27.480 is what we're looking at. Okay. I think that helped a little bit. 45, 530. Looks good to me. Let's go back and once again make sure we don't forget to reset. Can you tell I have forgotten to reset before? And it cost me dearly. Well, I guess that's the way you learn things in Kerbal. You do it wrong. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. Alright, so obviously not going to work out for this one, but let's just go another loop around and see how we're doing. Whoop. Okay, we're going to be pretty close here. Unfortunately, I should have stopped earlier. This would have been a good time for us to extend the orbit or decrease it, but in this case I think extend, so that we could actually get it just right. We're probably going to miss this next one then too. And yeah, we would have been perfect if we had done a little bit of a burn. In fact, what I should have done is this. I should have added the maneuver that would have got us, you know, perfect. But I'll be over here when they're there. Definitely not tenable to race and catch them. I could probably slow down enough that the next orbit they'll catch me. Yeah, that was it. Wasn't it? Where's the purple? Oh, look at that. Could race over there and catch them. Separation. Wow, separation is 13 kilometers and relative speed is only 20 meters per second. I never thought about doing an intercept way over there. Isn't that interesting? And if we move this a little bit, the intercept can happen a little bit differently. But that really doesn't look that bad. Oh my gosh, now I got it down to 1.2 kilometers and 22 meters per second. Heck, I don't know, that looks pretty good. I think we're going to do that. This has the distinct disadvantage that if we happen to goof up and do something stupid, we will put ourselves right into the mud. Obviously, affecting this side of the orbit is going to affect... messing around on this side of the orbit is going to affect things over here. But in theory, we should be able to correct for that in time. It's a little hairy, isn't it? I guess I'd rather just play this very safe. This would work, I'm pretty sure. I would be all in to do it if it was going to be before the apoapsis, but it would be after the apoapsis. I mean, a delta V of 20 meters per second and a separation of 1. Then I guess we could just burn prograde after that to undo any of the damage. And then, okay, alright, I've talked myself into it. Let's do it. Okay, so this is just going to be a slightly smaller orbit. Is that... I don't even know how this is working. How are they actually catching up to us? That... Well, it goes to show you that they're, like, our difference is this much apart, but because we're going so fast on this part of the orbit, you spend so much time over here that even just a little bit of difference allows them to catch up so nicely. I mean, the time is just moving so slow on that side of the orbit. Anyway, we're going to go in 30 seconds, and I'm not ready. We'll get there in a hurry. Looks almost good. Well, here we go. How are we looking? We are off, but we can keep going. Alright, we got 4 kilometers of separation, 21 meters per second. I think I would like to burn off a little bit. I think I overshot by a smidge. So I'm going to try to burn retrograde just for a smidge, hoping that that'll fix it. Oh my gosh! I just tapped it. Alright, back over. Gotta go the other way. Okay, let's do this quickly. Anything really small. Let's try this again. Alright, we got 0.2. I will take it. Ladies and gentlemen, I will take it. 0.2. Whew. Okay, so we got 1,400 on this guy, and I think, what, like 1,000 on the other one, so plenty, and we also have been managing to save our monopropellant. I think we have 20 meters per second of monopropellant in both of them, so we should be in very good shape. As long as I don't remember the push-pull thing, you know, gosh, it's not easy, but very exciting. So I'll cut away and we'll see you back in a second. Okay, well, the big moment's coming. You would think that after all I've been through in the last episode that I'd be completely ready for this, but all that, I guess the real sentiment I have is fear and horror. Oh, anyway, I guess we just might as well get started. Let's warp over here. It's scary when it does that. I really don't like that. That does that. Okay, we're coming up in 3 minutes, which means I should be. I mean, we are so close to this thing. Now they are moving faster than us, so we're gonna actually have to burn. No, not towards it, but away from it. Somewhere over here. So I think this is the direction we're going to want to burn. It has not caught us yet, right? Yeah. So we're going to be burning away from the mun? Yeah, that makes sense. Away from the mun and probably forward, I would guess. Somewhat prograde. And that looks to be the case. But this is cool. I mean, I'm very excited about this. It's cool to think that we're in these big orbits, but the way we are perceiving each other's motions, I am perceiving him as almost coming from the mun directly at me, which is his relative motion. It's really cool. I mean, just space is so cool the way everything happens. So with 22 meters per second, we can actually do that pretty quick. Now so I actually think mine's on this side. I think we're set up nicely here. So let's just wait a little bit longer. What was the minimum? I forget. What are we expecting the minimum separation to be? 200 meters. My goodness. It's pretty good. And I want to push this thing away. So let's probably do something like this. All right. Let's start doing it. Oh. Okay. I did too much. We're going away now. Wasn't thinking about what I was doing. I mean, we did well. I overcorrected, basically. Just wasn't thinking. I do want us to still be closing, so we can go ahead and grab this and go back. Push this guy away again. What I'd like to do is actually get this guy dead on this way. That looked like it worked well. How are we doing here? Electric charge is a little low. Well, let's just... Oh. Wait a second. We have a Kerbal eclipse, unfortunately. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Do we? The hell's blocking us? Nothing. Ah, we have a lunar eclipse. That's fine. I mean, that's not fine necessarily, but I think we're fine because we have enough charge. Alright, so we're just going to cruise on closer together. How are we doing? We are expected to not impact so far, which kind of makes sense. Our changes are going to be so minor that hopefully they won't really affect the or the periapsis too much. Anyway, what am I seeing here? Probably want to go a little bit more this way. Bring that back on course a little bit. Okay, it's good. We can probably even start going away soon. I mean, we're doing so good. We have so much time. The good news about being, this far away from the Mun, we have a lot of time left to like do any kind of maneuvers before things become bad or important. In fact, I'm pretty sure at this point we can already RCS and successfully navigate to the target. 2.7. I mean, and we're pretty much dead on, if I'm not mistaken. Looks very good. I'm not going to turn on docking mode yet because I actually find docking mode very difficult to use. I just like to use my eyeballs and RCS in this mode. So I wouldn't mind giving us a small extra kick of closing power. We're definitely nearly on. So Bob here is going to be pretty useless with the RCS stuff. I think I'm going to switch at this point over to the other one. Just get him to line up on the target. Alright, we are closing nicely. Let's activate RCS. And H is to fire forward, N I think is to fire backwards. Yep. So we'll get really close and then we'll put them into pretty much just exactly in the exact same orbit so they move together. We can translate, I think, at this point in order to accomplish anything else we want to accomplish. 79, yeah, plenty of monoprop. So we can actually accelerate this a little bit. Gonna miss by a little bit, but that's fine. We can always take care of that with the monoprop. Just RCS over. Alright, so let's do a... I didn't want to actually do that. I think I want to not translate. I mean, I think I only want to translate. Translate back a little bit. Okay, we are basically dead stopped. This is so cool. So all I need to do is switch over to Jebediah. Did we get our rendezvous? Alright, we explored the Mun. We did get our contract fulfilled. Thank goodness. So it's working this time. Now we should be able to do the same thing very easily. Let us rotate, turn off RCS, rotate a little bit. Turn off SAS to rotate. I'm going to rotate just to make it a little bit easier on me. Just to make it a little bit easier. Could use the, yeah, okay, the RCS. We'll turn off RCS, we'll use the electric charge first. Okay, swing me. Cue the angelic choirs. This is so much easier than frickin' Jebediah getting out and pushing. Nice and easy. Oh, this is so nice. Yeah, you know what? I guess after doing the last mission, this was a breeze. This was just, it couldn't have been easier. We can actually use our thrusters if we want instead of our RCS to move forward. We'll activate the RCS though, so once we get some motion going forward, we can align things. We want to move translate up. Oops, that is down. Am I inverted? Nope, that's working. So move forward. Oops. What I'd like to do is, I want to go to docking mode without actually changing the docking mode system. No, don't actually do that. I want to go J, but R. Yeah, I think we got it already. H to go forward, and we should connect. Probably K to go downward a little bit. Yeah, it's inverted. My poor brain. Why is it inverted? Okay, close. So much easier. Okay, well, we can just let them collide now. I think we're good. So it's K. Well, look at that. 2, 4. Yes. Alright, turn off RCS. We're done. Now we can go home. So that's that. That is that. That is docking in the mun. And we can separate at this point. We can go home. Accomplish all those missions. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Jebediah and Bomb can say hi. I guess we can probably transfer a little bit of fuel. Do we really need to? They both have enough to go. So there's no real point. Yeah, they all have what they need. So what we're going to do is just undock. I don't know who I'm even controlling. Apparently Bob. Alright, Bob. Let's see what you want to do. First of all, let's have you turn on your RCS. You didn't use any. So your main objective is just going to be to scooch sideways on out of the path. Goodbye. Can you imagine how amazing it would be to be millions of miles away from any other being, any other person, Kerbal in this case, and then to dock with them in the void, and then to undock? What an incredibly, like, I don't want to say lonely because it might not necessarily be a bad thing, but an incredibly, like, yeah, I mean, you are alone. How incredibly alone you would feel. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess it depends on the person. We might not be. It might not be completely out of. It might not be completely impossible. Okay, yeah, we are facing the wrong way, so we do not want to do any. Okay, let me first check that we are not going to hit with either of these guys. 31. And this one is a 27. Okay, good. So we're fine on both accounts. Good, 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 good. So that looks like we're going to let both of these guys go. Let me set the other one as a target just to make sure. I just want to set them as a target so that I can see who's going to get there first. Like who needs to do this move out first. Oh, okay. So we get there first. Good. Let's go. So actually just warp to here. What the heck? That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's warp to here. Oh, what happened there? Okay, good. So it's clear that the other one's going to get there first. Yeah, the target position, the other one's ahead. So let's switch over to this one. You are the first. You will do the first path out of here. We will have you set them as a target. Just, I don't know why. I guess we don't really need to. We cannot set them. Just trying to go home now. I think that probably the best time to go home would be burning around here. Guessing that this is the best. That's not going to work. Okay, so that works, but let's try to get it something a little bit better. What about, we're going to do this now. Now we're talking. And with only 250, we're going to do just fine. We're down to 54. 154. We're inside the planet, which means we can back a little bit more. 67. 6,000. Okay, we can go back a little bit. 68. Okay, we'll go a little bit more than that. 62. Good. Fast forward to this location. We'll get there first. Barely. Man, we're going to have to do these burns like almost right on top of each other. In fact, I think that we might start this one early just because, I don't know. Who do I have? Is this Jebediah? Or, okay, this is one who actually can go just prograde. Which is what we're going to do. I think we'll just go prograde until we get a good number. So let's just, 250 is what we're thinking we're going to want. Let's go ahead and do it. I think I forgot to do that. Missed it. Periapsis is... Okay, we're technically going to be here when we get out of the orbit. I want to do... Well, let me switch over to the other group, because that's important for them to get... This is kind of fun, juggling both of them at the same time. We're probably going to need to maneuver soon. Oops. We're looking... Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Well, not exactly perfect, but pretty good. $7,000, okay. I don't think we're actually going to accomplish that, but let's go ahead and move to it. And we'll go back to this guy and we'll see if we can maybe do a little bit more helpful work. I think by burning prograde... I think it should be effectively reducing our periapsis, but I don't know, we'll figure it out. Don't need our CS on. Let's get over to the... Okay, don't do target. We need... Yeah, we need orbit. This is, of course, the guy who has no SAS. Make this pretty fun. Looks close enough. Wow, we're gonna burn... Oh, good gracious. How about that? Now we're going to start the burn a little bit later. Go. Well, went too far. That's okay. No, not far enough. I saw the periapsis and I was like, no, it's the wrong periapsis. just kill this. Okay, 53,000, that looks good to me. Alright, let's switch back over again. See if we can maybe help this one out a little bit more. You are burning... yeah, that's good. So let's see if this is going to help. Yeah, this is going to help. Oh, wow, 20,000 might be a little bit too much. We'll wait to correct it when we get out of here. Good, good. But they're both on they're on their way home. So let's just warp to here. Actually, the super challenging thing is who's gonna get there. We actually need to time these guys. 4 days, 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 minutes. 4 hours, 4 minutes. So 4 hours and like 3 minutes and 50 something seconds, perhaps. God, it's too close. So what I want to do is actually burn prograde more with this one. Okay, let me just burn prograde. That way I can attempt to separate their times a little bit. Oh, okay. We're at 4 hours and 11 minutes. That's pretty good. Alright, I'll leave it here. This will extend our orbit a little bit, and then they have 1100 delta V. We can change things. But right now, we're looking at 4 hours, 11 minutes. This is good. And this one is 4 hours and 2 minutes. Great. The periapsis is 21, so I actually do want to... oh yeah, I do want to burn prograde with this guy a little bit. Maybe take that out to... 50. Okay, so now we can actually go all the way in. Actually, we don't want to do that. I want to cut this one back a little bit. I overdid it, basically. That was pretty good. Let's go 50 or so. Okay. Okay, so this is 31, basically just under 31. Good. Plenty of time. 10 minutes difference. Move on in. Warp here. And try to get these guys in. Yeah, I'm glad that we're accelerating to be quite different in the end. It's good, very, very good. Probably go here. Oh! What's our deployment plan? Okay, so the next thing is just simply to jettison everything, which includes RCS. So we can use all the RCS we want on entry, and then, you know, jettison. 54. So let's warp here. Cancel that. Yeah, we do have still ways to go. Let's go retrograde. Okay, fast forward a little bit. We do have plenty of speed we want to kill off. And I think nearly about time for us to start killing it off. RCS, don't need this. Plenty of RCS in the tank too. Got ourselves down to a very reasonable 2400. This is very reasonable. I don't know if we're going to burn off this monopropellant fast enough, but that's fine. I'm pretty sure at this point we're not gonna, leave orbit. You need like 2400, so we passed the point of no return a long time ago. But hey, it's still mattering, right? It's still doing something. And we're down to only 7. This is good. This is good. Okay, let me turn off RCS. Do a little bit of a flip. Oops, I went the wrong way. I wanted to go this way. Okay, that was... There we go, what I wanted to do. And then... retrograde. Alright, Jebediah should be good. I think I might have deployed his parachute. Have they been deployed yet? No. They have not. Good. Okay, so... let's see if we can handle the heat. Coming in at 2000. I think this is, well, this will be tight. And then, of course, we very quickly have to jump over to the next one and do the same thing. But I'm seeing us down. In fact, we'd never even really scratched the surface of our heat. I need to wait to deploy the parachutes for quite an amount of time, just so I can so I need to save as much time as possible. I can't just high speed it. Well, anyway, you've seen re-entries before. I think we're actually fine. At this point, we should be fine. So, you know what? I can probably cut away here. I'll do the other one, and we'll call this mission successful. We got the other one waiting in space, but I thought I would just show this real fast. We got whatever. We got 2,000 parts back, and Jebediah's ready to go. Okay, jumping back over quickly now, very quickly. It looks like it's all working perfectly according to plan. And I'll do the scan, and I'll see you back in a moment. Okay, Bob Kerman's back down. We're all good. Got another 0.5 science for that. Another 2,000 or so. I think this thing is like about 12,000. We got about 2,000 back, so it's 10,000 per, which means 20,000 total. Bob Kerman, advanced level 1, which is good. Well, let's take a look at the contract situation then. We did this synchronized free falling, so that must have been rendezvousing, and that gave us enough to cover our costs for both of these and then some already, plus a good amount of science, which is good. I mean, well, 6, it's not that much, I guess. The recent accomplishments for our space program have attracted contribution from numerous organizations. That's fantastic. We've performed the rendezvous around the Mun. We started constructing the first station around the Mun. Well, not really. We just docked. But yeah, there it is. We performed a docking maneuver. We'll take it, though. We'll take, I mean, a good amount of money, especially because we've already upgraded the R&D place to level 3, which is, I think, by far the most expensive. And then we can probably upgrade the entire base now to full. And a little bit of extra science as well. And there's the actual docking maneuver. Gave us another nearly 80,000. So, and then completing the contract itself gives us another sizable chunk of money. I mean, that was like 200,000 or, actually, no, really closer to 300,000, maybe even more than that. And we're only up to 1.75, so we must have actually had, I guess the R&D facility must have eaten into our funds a fair amount. Yep, so this one's fully upgraded. It'll take $500,000 to do this one. Not quite, just under $1 million to do that one. It's the same for that. We don't really need to do the astronaut complex. It's already level 2. It's really the most we ever need. What do we need? You think we're ever going to need unlimited Kerbals? We haven't lost a single one yet. I think ours respawn, though, don't they? And I don't really think we're going to need many strategies. The one strategy I'm running is pretty much the only strategy I ever run. Launch pad is fully upgraded. I think we should, as a nice gesture to ourselves, patch up this runway. So let's go ahead and do this upgrade now. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Well worth it, I think. Good, so we could probably do the tracking station next as well. That'll put us just under $1 million. We could do either of these, but really what I think we'll do is wait, hold that money in reserve just in case we do need to upgrade somebody. Mission control, actually having unlimited contracts is another thing I'd like to do, so maybe tracking station plus mission control is what we should do. Anyway, that's enough for this episode. It's kind of a slow, boring one, sorry about that. But the next one, I think will be more interesting. Min-miss? I don't know what we're doing. We'll do something harebrained, crazy. I don't know. Until then, thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.